Hi there, this is Dr. Ilana Eckstein-Michelson from optiontoheal.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about life, a specific part of life, not all about life. And I'll give you a little example. Last night I had made a birthday cake for my daughter, a really delicious chocolate-covered chocolate chip brownie birthday cake. And me and my daughter had had some together earlier, and we put it aside and we said we were going to have with everybody when everybody came home. My youngest son came home and he wanted a piece of cake, and I said to him, let's first have dinner, and then when everyone sits together and has cake, you'll have the cake too, which he was fine with. And so we ate dinner, and then he went to the computer to play and did his homework. And meantime, my daughter also ate dinner, but she wasn't feeling well, so she fell asleep on the sofa. My other daughter came home, had dinner, but she wasn't really hungry for cake. She just went and did her homework. And before you knew it, it was 9 o'clock, time for the boys to go to sleep. So I went upstairs and I called up my sons to come upstairs and get ready for bed. My son came upstairs and said, but Mommy, you promised me to have I could have a piece of cake. And I said, I know, but at the end, nobody ended up having cake. And he said, but Mommy, you promised me, you told me after dinner. And I said, okay, but now it's 9 o'clock, it's time to go to sleep. How about if you have a piece of cake tomorrow morning for breakfast? He says, no, I don't want it for breakfast, I want something else for breakfast. And the conversation went on and on like that. Things got more and more heated up. I started yelling, he started yelling, and before you knew it, we were in a full-blown fight. At the end of that fight, he felt dejected, I felt guilty, I felt shame for what I just did, but it happened. That's part of life. I was tired, he was tired, and the mixture of the two of them together just didn't mix very well, didn't mesh well. So before I went to sleep, I decided I'm not going to go to sleep like this. I'm going to first do something about it. And what I did is I went through that whole scene and I tapped out in my mind all the emotional charges that I had, the shame, the guilt, the anger, the shame at looking at his dejected face afterwards, the bad feelings that I had. I tapped them all out to a 0 and I flipped it to where I would have wanted that scene to lead. The next morning, I was much calmer. I then approached my son and I discussed it with him and I said, how about we do a tapping session? Now he happens to also be my tapping buddy, and whenever he has something that bothers him or I have something that bothers me, we'll help each other a little bit. Mostly me helping him though. And so he agreed. So first we tapped out the emotional charge of me yelling at him, of his feeling dejected. Afterwards, we went and we flipped the memory and we rebuilt it to a place where he felt good with it. We even built a few different scenarios for him to feel good with. By the end of the 20 minutes, that's all it took really, 15 or 20 minutes, we were both feeling much better. Our bond between us was much stronger, and neither of us had a bad feeling about the night before anymore. Now, for me, that's much better, because I was thinking in my mind, I'm going to let him go through with this. He would just want to forget it at the beginning, and then 20, 30 years from now, he's going to go to some practitioner and say, it's all because when I was 9 years old, my mom didn't let me have that birthday cake. Now, I'm exaggerating a little bit over here. Things don't happen because of that one little thing. It's usually an accumulation. But it could be from that one little thing too. I've had that happen too before also with different clients. And therefore, my advice to you is when things happen to you on a day-to-day basis, and things do happen, you do sometimes get angry. You do sometimes blow your fuse. Don't let it just sit there. Don't let it get buried inside so you can call more of that stuff to you. Work on it right away. Get rid of it. Whether it happens to you, whether it happens to your children, just work on it and get rid of it as fast as you can. Because the faster you get rid of it, the freer you're going to be of it. Have a great day from optiontoheal.com.